Let's go Broncos! The energy is buzzing behind the scenes at the Denver Broncos facility, and I've got some major updates that you need to hear about right now. We all know the Broncos are chasing that Super Bowl dream, and for Sean Payton to take this team to the promised land, he needs a stacked roster ready to deliver. I've got a lot to break down for you. Some potential shakeups, contract updates, and serious wide receiver discussions. But before we dive into all of that, make sure you've smashed that like button if you've been riding with the Denver Broncos for over 20 years. It's always incredible to see Broncos fans of all ages showing love. And if your blood runs orange and blue, drop this in the comments. Go Broncos! My heart bleeds orange and blue! Let's jump straight into what's going on with Courtland Sutton because this is huge. Sutton himself came forward with some words that sent waves through Broncos country. He said that he and his team have had really good conversations with the Broncos front office about a potential contract extension. He even added that he's open and optimistic about staying in Denver for the rest of his career. I mean, how can that not fire you up? That's the kind of loyalty and fire that fans dream of from a WR1. Sutton had a phenomenal season, over 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. Touchdowns? That's never been a problem for him. The man knows how to find the end zone, no doubt about it. While there's still room to improve in terms of receptions and yardage, he remains hands down the best wide receiver on the roster. Nobody else in that wide receiver room is putting up the numbers he is. Sutton has earned that top spot, and he's holding the line. Now let's talk numbers, because this is where things get spicy. SpotRack is projecting Sutton's next deal to be in the ballpark of 3 years, $80 million. Do the math, and you're looking at $26.6 million per year. That's a serious chunk of change. It would place him just outside the top 10 highest-paid wide receivers in the league. So it's not CeeDee Lamb or DK Metcalf money, but it's still top-tier cash. Here's where the debate starts. Should the Broncos give him that kind of deal? Some might say yes, that kind of consistency and leadership is worth it. Others might argue he should be closer to the $23, $25 million range, especially considering what the team might need to do with the rest of their payroll. But Sutton has leverage. He's producing, and nobody else in the WR room is touching his level of play. And here's the reality. If the Broncos can't get a deal done, they've got to start thinking about the future now. That means looking ahead to the 2025 NFL Draft. The team has 7 draft picks, and according to the current vibe inside the organization, it's not likely they'll use a round 1 pick on a wide receiver. More likely, we'll see them dip into that talent pool on day 2 or day 3. And let me tell you, this class is deep. One name popping up is Kyle Williams out of Washington State. He's a 5'9" tall, 190-pound deep threat who was ranked 14th in touchdowns and 8th in receiving yards in college last year. He's got that Sutton-like ability to track the deep ball and make big plays, but his intermediate game and speed leave a little to be desired. He's a solid day 2 or day 3 pick, a guy who can definitely fill that WR2 role with some polish. Then there's Alex Ayomaner, a 6'1", 206-pound receiver from Stanford, who exploded for nearly 300 yards in one game last year. Big body, solid speed, and he's got the build for the NFL. If you want a guy who can fill the physical WR role that Sutton has mastered, Alec fits the mold. Also in the mix is Tez Johnson, who brings a completely different look. At 5'10" and 154 pounds, he's built for the quick game, the slot routes, the high-speed finesse plays. He played with Bo Nix at Oregon, which adds some intrigue to the mix. That chemistry could go a long way.
But out of all the names floating around, there's one that really stands out, Torrey Horton from Colorado State. This dude is a baller. He might just be the sleeper pick of the 2025 NFL Draft. Horton had a monster 2023 season with almost 1,100 yards, 100 receptions, and 8 touchdowns. He's got elite ball tracking skills, great route running, and he understands how to manipulate defenders. Injuries slowed him down in 2024, which hurt his draft stock. But make no mistake, if the Broncos pick this guy up on day 2 or 3, they're getting a certified WR2 who could blossom into much more. There's a lot at stake here. Courtland Sutton is still WR1, but his future is hanging in the balance. Will the Broncos make him a long-term centerpiece or start building a younger, cheaper receiving core through the draft? With guys like Horton, Ayomaner, Williams, and Johnson available, the front office has decisions to make, big ones. So I want to hear from you. What do you think about Courtland Sutton's contract situation? Is he worth $26 million a year? Should the Broncos target a wide receiver early in the draft if Sutton doesn't get an extension? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's get the conversation going. because the future of this wide receiver room could very well define how far the Denver Broncos can go over the next few years. And let's not forget, this is a team with playoff ambitions and a coach in Sean Payton who knows exactly what kind of pieces he needs to run his system effectively. If Sutton is extended, it gives the offense stability and a proven red zone weapon. But if that deal doesn't get done, the front office has to act fast and smart. And that's where Bo Nix comes into the picture. The presumed future at quarterback for the Broncos, Bo Nix needs weapons he can grow with. Chemistry matters. Timing matters. These young wide receivers being scouted, especially someone like Tez Johnson who's already played with Nix at Oregon, could become a huge advantage. Imagine having a rookie QB come in with a trusted target already in the building. That's rare, and that kind of familiarity could make all the difference in speeding up development, especially early in the season when confidence is everything. Now, some fans might wonder, why not just draft a WR1 and move on from Sutton entirely? Well, here's the deal. Proven production is hard to replace. Sutton isn't just catching passes, he's drawing coverage, opening up the field for other playmakers, and showing up in clutch moments. Replacing that with a rookie is risky business. You might get a breakout star, sure, but you might also get someone who needs a couple seasons to adjust to the pro level. That's not ideal if you're trying to win now. That said, if Sean Payton and GM George Payton believe in this wide receiver class, they've got a shot to build a dynamic, young core that can grow alongside Bo Nix. That's a big win in the long-term strategy column. And Horton, Iomanor, Williams, these aren't just filler picks. These guys have real upside. They bring different styles, strengths, and skill sets to the table: vertical threats, possession receivers, slot ninjas. Each of them offers something unique, and the idea of mixing them into a rotation could give Denver the kind of versatile receiving core it hasn't had in years. And here's a little insider flavor for you. Torrey Horton might just be the guy that gets a ton of attention from Broncos scouts as draft day approaches. The front office is reportedly intrigued by his natural ball skills, the way he runs routes, and his ability to track the football in the air. He's the kind of guy who doesn't just run to a spot. He finds the space, adjusts on the fly, and makes the kind of catches that keep drives alive. And that's something you just can't teach. Alec Iomanor brings a physical presence that would be a major asset in red zone packages. He can fight off press coverage, box out defenders, and turn 50-50 balls into 80-20s. The Stanford product is built like a pro, and his breakout performance in 2023 shows he can take over a game when the lights are brightest. And don't sleep on Kyle Williams. He's smaller, but he's savvy. His ability to stretch the field vertically is reminiscent of what the Broncos used to get from Emmanuel Sanders in his prime. He's not a WR1, but if you pair him with the right guys, he can absolutely torch defenses over the top. In an offense designed by Sean Payton, that kind of weapon becomes lethal. Tez Johnson might be a bit of a gamble given his size, but in a quick strike offense or as a gadget player, he could be electric. He's the type of player you design plays for, not someone who blends into the rotation. He brings flash, energy, and unpredictability. You just don't want him lining up against a middle linebacker over the middle unless you're ready to hold your breath. This is where things get real for Broncos fans.